Other than being the reason 90% of people watch his videos, Egg-chan is valued by Wemmbu because he's Wembu's most loyal friend. Ever since Egg refused to give Wembu up to flame frags, even at the brink of death, they've been unquestionably loyal to each other, which is good, because if Egg-chan ever unleashed his true power upon Wembu, his series would be over. In my last video, I discussed how Wembu strongly represents the ideal of freedom. More specifically, the pursuit of freedom through power. If you haven't watched that video, this is meant as a sequel to it, but you don't need to watch it for this video. You'll just need to take my word for some things, like that Wembu likes freedom, which is essentially the main point of that last video. Also, this video is about the Unstable SMP, a scripted Minecraft server with a pretty good story. If you haven't watched it, I recommend that you do. I also have a summary of some events I will discuss here in my last video called How Power Limits Freedom, and I will have a lot of spoilers for the SMP in this video, so be warned. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe so that I can make bank off it. Now, if you've watched the series, you've probably noticed Egg-chan gets taken hostage a lot. He gets taken hostage at least 3 times during the Prince Sam Empire arc, he was trapped in the end, got taken hostage twice during the Pirate arc, and countless other times. Wembu is always the one who has to save Egg. This is a duty Wembu generally accepts, but it will occasionally take his own freedom to save Egg. An example is at the end of Egg-chan's empire, when Wembu has to accept being exiled to the Great Sea so that Egg isn't killed. Another is when he had to give Spoke a favor, which was the attempt on Leowolf's life, in order to free Egg from the end. Now, he might have failed, causing Spoke to crash out.
You want to know how to let your friend out of the end, trapped? Wembu, 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 Wembu. All you have to do is throw a Ender Pearl through the portal! An Ender Pearl goes through the portal!
Wait,
his spawn is trapped there, his spawn's in the Farlands or whatever, throw it through and have him reset.
But this was still something Wembu was pressured to do because he wanted to save Egg. Now, if we take my point that Wembu likes freedom, Egg as a companion does not help that goal. In fact, when Wembu is at his most powerful, and in most cases most free, it is without Egg. Yet, Egg is probably the person Wembu values most in Unstable. This creates a lot of complexity within Wembu's character. His character has the strong value of freedom, while his greatest companion actively harms that goal. This is explored heavily in the Egg-chan Empire video. In it, Egg takes the role of limiting Wembu's freedom by having Wembu do things like guard the Empire, have to sign in, and generally just listen to what Egg says, rather than his usual free exploration of the server. This nearly explicitly shows Egg-chan's role in reducing Wembu's freedom. In his discussion with Pengi about Egg, Pengi says that he will likely only return to normal once he loses his power. Impossible, considering Egg's power, but Wembu does not want this to happen because he cares about Egg. But he's clearly conflicted about it within himself. He doesn't seem to ever try to think about this sort of stuff though. In fact, he seems to actively avoid doing that.
Would you rather be feared or loved, bro?
Dude, I don't know.
I'd rather be feared.
Okay, how many Ender Pearls do you have?
9.
Earlier in the series, Egg convinces Wembu not to kill people several times. One key example being Foray. Wembu could have killed Foray after he got his mace back, but Egg convinced him not to. Now ultimately, it was Wembu's choice to spare Foray, as he is the one who held the power here. But I find it worth noting how Egg has held Wembu back historically. I believe this conflict is a smaller version of the tension throughout the series generally between connection and freedom. For an example from the other side, we can look at Jaden Man. When Wembu was about to be captured by Deputy Ace, his connection to Jaden from earlier in the series saved him. This was a quite explicit example of Wembu increasing his freedom compared to the alternative of being in prison again because of a connection he had, Jaden. This is especially interesting considering the last time these two interacted was when Wembu helped him as the Invisible Knight. Wembu did not have to make this connection. He could have easily killed Jaden, his enemy for so long, but instead, he let him build his empire and even helped him do it. This moment was surprising to not only Wembu, but also us viewers as well. When I first watched that episode, I truly thought that Wembu would be going back to prison, until Jaden showed up. This emphasizes how wemmbu does not generally believe in how relationships to others can bring freedom. Generally, when wemmbu is attached to someone or something, it is a liability for him. Think about Egg-chan, his empires, Flame Frags after the 2 versus 1000, Rejoice, and even Sam before he betrayed wemmbu. Throughout the series, this may have been the first major time wemmbu experiences an unexpected positive outcome from his connections. Using neuroscience, it makes sense why his negative experiences stick out. There is more dopamine released when someone experiences an unexpected positive outcome compared to an expected one, causing you to have a stronger reaction to it, and therefore remember it better. The opposite is true as well. So, when wemmbu experienced 2 major unexpected negative outcomes in Season 1, being Sam's betrayal and Main's lost cause, this affected him deeply, along with Rejoice's death later on. Then, Jademan reversed his trend by helping wemmbu. I think this was the ultimate reason for the character development we see in wemmbu later on, where he's more generous. Overall, this demonstrates how our relationships to others can both increase and decrease freedom, but generally, it is a good thing to have, and wembu's latest video proved it. His latest video describes a retired Mace user who got bored of the server due to his immense power making everything in the server boring. This is obviously meant to be a mirror to wemmbu, with Egg-chan even drawing a connection to the Invis arc. But wemmbu has not quit the server. This is clearly because of the connections he has made on the server. Egg-chan, Jaden, Flame, even people like Parrot and Spoke. During his time in prison, he surely could have just locked off, but he wouldn't because he needs to be there for Egg. Egg-chan doesn't have much of a chance on his own surviving in Unstable, and sure, there's people like Minitek, but it's obvious that wemmbu would go to far greater lengths to protect Egg than anyone else would. So, while his connections to people may limit him in some ways, they're ultimately what keep wemmbu on the server, because what's the point of freedom if there's nothing you want to do? Thanks for watching the whole video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe.